So now let's talk about setting up a brand new project for a SharePoint to SharePoint migration with on-demand SharePoint module. Within the on-demand module, once you go into the migration area, you can just click on New Project. Previously, you would have made your connections to your tenants, your source and your target tenant. For this example, I will just select my source tenant here, identified as 800.318, and my target tenant listed here. Proceed through with the wizard. It will prompt you for an account. What you will notice is you can technically skip this operation. However, it is important to note that although you've granted On Demand as a platform access to read and write the SharePoint information, you will need to provide a specific admin account. Typically, minimum roles here would be the SharePoint admin role within 365. Global admin access is preferred, but you can go down a layer for both source and target. This ensures that the account provided can read and write fully all of the data on the source, as well as provision and add content to the target. So in this case, I will go ahead and populate my data points here with my account and grant permissions for source. It will prompt me once again for those credentials, so just be aware and sign in. Again, identify the individual components in which we are granting rights to and accept the permissions. All right, let's go ahead and do this for the target as well. And accept. Now that we've provided credentials for both source and target, we can save and continue and finish and close. And of course, it's going to go ahead and open up our project here. So for a migration, because we do support all of the modules within Office 365, accounts, mail, SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, and public folders, we can, for this purpose, jump directly into the SharePoint area. I won't talk about the account area, which is also important because to make sure or ensure that we're matching on all of the user metadata properties accurately, you will want to leverage going into the actual account area and discovering, matching, and or migrating of those accounts from source tenant to target tenant. So we can go directly into the SharePoint module for this example. And again, we're at the very beginning. We have all of our tiles here. And so, of course, the first thing that we want to do, and we kind of highlight that here for you, is to discover your source content. Again, you have two different links here to actually access the data. So either way, we're going to get to the same spot. We can begin with discovering all site collections or discovering individual sites via a file. If you have a large set of data, meaning maybe hundreds or thousands of SharePoint Online sites to actually migrate, you might want to consider using a file. That way you can control how many SharePoint Online sites that you're working with from the source versus looking at all of the content at one time. Either way, we can support you in performing that discovery. And just since we're here, I will go ahead and perform that discovery now and let that run behind the scenes. And that concludes setting up the project.